Welcome back to the Broker Power Up Podcast, the AIME podcast for strategy, stories, and insights to help you close more loans. I'm Tommy Golightly, joined by Jonathon and Haddad. How are you?
Man, we are on fire. UWM Live is a week away, around the corner here. This is episode 60, believe it or not. It's just crazy the consistency that we have. And you know what? I'm feeling much better. I got a little sick last week or so after coming back from that trip. So I'm feeling incredible today. What about you?
Good. We are, when this airs, we're just a couple days away from UWM Live.
That's right.
Recording, we're a week away. But very excited. I'm sure we will have an AIME booth. So if you are at UWM Live, be sure to stop by and say hi to the AIME team members that are there. And the WMN event is going to be going on tomorrow as time of this coming out. So I hope everyone has a blast. Can't wait to see pictures. Wish I could be there myself. But we have a lot going on today. We have the Broker Buzz, where we dive into the top posts of the week from the Brokers Are Best Facebook group, discuss what's trending, what's working, and what you need to know. Then we're going to have the sales pitch training, where John helps us become better salespeople, and wrap things up as always with story time with John. But first, the fortune cookie. Today's fortune: cherish the love that surrounds you. It's a testament to your heart's capacity to remember. This may be our first repeat.
Yes, we've had that before. I actually remember this one, but I love this one regardless.
Yeah, we can run it back.
Oh yeah, we're running this one back for sure. Especially, look, in times, and I'll speak from my perspective, Tom, and would love to hear your take too. But one, I mean, even last week visited you and Jillian, and had dinner, had great, unbelievable experience.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh my God, we had a blast. But like that, you feel the love in the air there from that. Met up with Anthony Casa, who has just absolutely working on just becoming just the best version of himself, and seeing, he's starting to get in shape and he's starting to love himself more. You're just watching other people starting to love themselves more. And so mine with this is, yes, it's the love that surrounds you, but keeping yourself around the love that surrounds you truly helps you love yourself more. Because that's the only way you can give more of yourself to the world, is if you love who you are as a human being. And it's really hard, right? You go through life getting just punched and kicked, and so many people on here has had such traumatic childhoods that it takes time to heal and to figure it all out. But for me, slowing down these last couple of weeks is by far the most important thing. I'm taking my wife to Bruno Mars this Saturday. So I will already be there after this play. So it'll be the Saturday that passes, which this show's on Monday. Yeah. But even that, right? Like making sure I'm dating my wife constantly, making sure I'm communicating with my kids. I was laying in bed yesterday with all three of my kids in the bed with me. And I was like, this is crazy. Like my life is, that's my kids. My twins aren't even 3 yet. So less than 3 years ago, this wasn't a reality. So, cherish it. You have people around you that love you. Don't lose sight of it. You need winners around you. You need people that love you to help push you to your absolute limits to be the best version of who you are. So I love that fortune cookie today. Would love your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, gonna be sappy, but I guess the AIME team, like the love around the AIME team, and just how we take care of each other and watch each other's back and just want the best for each other and just want to work together as a team. But on a non-work and personal note, I'll be this upcoming weekend at a wedding for a friend that I met back in college. And so just the love that'll surround me at a wedding, because I haven't been to a wedding in a while. And so it'll just be good to see, because it's a friend who I've talked to a lot online, but haven't been able to spend a lot of time in person over the past couple of years, just because of where we live and everything. This is a destination wedding. So, it'll just be nice to be able to, it's a small wedding, so I'll actually get to be able to spend time with the bride and groom. And I don't know, there's something special about being around people when they're getting married. So.
Thank you for sharing.
Of course. So let's dive into the Broker Buzz with our first question of the week. Foster care is qualifying income? I have a borrower that has full-time employment, but has also been a foster parent for almost 11 years. Is there any ways we can use this as income, Fannie or Freddie? If so, how?
Yes, so you can. There are some rules and regulations to this in terms of how long they've been doing it for, how it's documented. I believe you need 12 months of bank statements on top of this. So the answer is yes, but there are stipulations and rules. It can't be random over the last 11 years, right? It can't be just like, hey, every once in a while, this is what happens. If it's been consistent and you can track the consistency of it, you absolutely can use it. If it's from the states, which it is in most cases, then that's even easier. But there needs to be a consistency. I believe it used to be 3 years. I don't know if they've changed it, but 3 years you needed before, and then 12 months of bank statements. So might be a little less now. Go check the Fannie Mae guidelines, Freddie Mac guidelines, but this is definitely a doable product.
Awesome. And our next question. The borrowers appear to have sufficient funds, but are unwilling to use them. It also seems they may not be fully disclosing their financials while requesting down payment assistance for a $600,000 purchase. I'm inclined to decline the DPA request. How would you handle this?
So basically, what I'm reading on here is that there is a DPA product that is specific to a client's net worth in terms of the cash they have at hand, is what that looks to be the case. Because I'm trying to think, like, why would you hide financials? Like, I get it if some client has crypto and they're like, I don't need to share crypto. Why do you want that? I guess I could see that. But if they're just like being weird, or $600,000 home and there's potential risk implications for you, that's the first thing I would say is read the DPA rules, right? Like, what does it say if they are over? Because that risk all comes back to, guess who? You. The lender is trusting you to ask the right questions. And by the way, it sounds like you are, which I absolutely love the fact that you came to this group to ask such an important question, because that is important, right? Your career's on the line. You're risking on the line. So for me, if you get red flags like this, it's never worth one loan. Clients are getting smarter. And unfortunately, ChatGPT is not going to make it easier for us in the mortgage industry. It's going to make it easier for them to find their version of loopholes. There are certain things that are just illegal. You know that. I know that. Protect us at all costs, which is exactly what you're doing. And I love that you're doing that. I agree with you. If it's tied to their assets or their net worth and you feel like they just are not disclosing everything and you just feel weird about the situation, you are making the right call. Absolutely. Decline that loan. You'll be okay. Move on. Pat yourself on the back. Deal with whatever the client throws your way, some BS if they do, because why would you say that? But you are protecting the community. You're protecting yourself, and there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, I mean, if they're making the largest financial decision of their life, right? With the house.
Yes.
So why would they not use ChatGPT to try and find the best possible way? So I feel like that's just going to become more and more common. With our next question, curious what you do when you've had your client pull their credit and they forgot to unfreeze an account. Do you have them unfreeze it and go back into the link to pay for just that bureau, or do you contact that bureau after they unfreeze it and pay for it? I believe there may be a compliance rule to this, but not sure.
So definitely not going to talk on the compliance piece of it. I'm not a compliance person, and in this situation, I'm not sure why it is compliance, but I would ask if you think there's concerns there. I've pulled more credit than I could possibly even count or imagine, and I've pulled credit many of times where the credit is frozen. What I have done and what I will continue to do, this is just how I learned. You don't have to like this approach. It's just the easiest approach, and it's been very successful for me. If I pull and it's frozen, I call the client, unfreeze the credit report. I call the credit vendor and I have them refresh the report with it unfrozen. That's what I do. I tie it to the same file number, so I don't have to get a different file number. I've been good with that, and I just chat. We use Advantage Credit. They're amazing and super easy with it. But I also don't charge my consumers for the credit report. I personally pay for that. I know there's a lot of brokers that want the consumers to pay for it. That's not the environment I grew up in, and so for me, I'm always been the one that pays for it, and it's served me very well. So that's how I do it. But on your side, if you want the client to pay, I'm sure they might need to send another link after they unfreeze. But there's nothing if you're using Advantage Credit, just go chat with them. There's nothing they can't figure out on the chat, and it's super simple and easy.
Awesome. And our final question for today. I am trying to be more diligent about spending time with my family. I'm thinking of instituting 2 nights a week to be available for client consults, and other 3 nights during the week be non-negotiable family time. Pre-approval letters will obviously still go out 7 days a week. I understand many borrowers can't talk during work hours, so I want to be mindful of that, but I want to give my wife and kids the attention they deserve. So I'm curious if anyone has implemented a similar policy and if there has been any pushback from it. Thanks all.
So this is so good, and I have I've been getting so much better at this. Another person too, by the way, for the person who posted this, and we'll tag him. Wade Betts is an absolute monster and so good at this, and I just love it. I've talked to him multiple times about it. The guy is just so systematic and organized. So one, I would also ask him, but two, for me, here's my thing. Work backwards with your wife. And it's hard. Okay. My wife and I are starting to get good at it, but it's been the last, since we had kids, right? In the making, where we're constantly, it's not been easy. A lot of conversations. But my wife and I work backwards. Like, what do we have family wise first? And then I'll put that in my calendar. So for example, I'm taking my wife to Bruno Mars, like I said, this Saturday. That means Saturday I'm offline. We're going to the spa. We're getting a massage. My team knows, I'm all set. If my agents or my clients, hey, I'm out with my wife, here's my person that can help you for today. I'll be back in action tomorrow. We have a vacation planned to Mackinac Island at the end of June, all right, with my kids. That's a non-negotiable. Now, my wife knows there's going to be days and hours that I have to be available. But I tell her prior, it's all about managing expectations. Yep. Hey, on that Thursday, I have this. I have a podcast on that day. This is something I can't miss. I can cancel this. So work backwards. It's not easy. And you're going to start off by saying, well, I don't know, maybe we should try. Well, let's try and do dinner. There's no trying. If you're doing date night with your wife, we're having date night with your wife. No questions asked.
There is no try.
No, there is no try. There can't be. So this is one of those where there is no trying. And that's kind of been the philosophy. I'm not saying I have not screwed up. Lauren, I love you. We've screwed up a lot of times, right, in this process. But it's the constant working towards that goal of, hey, this isn't a try, this is a do. And it has been working so much more effectively for us. So that's my advice. I hope that helps. If you want more information, Wade Betts is more than happy to talk to you. The guy is unbelievable.
I think setting expectations does most of the work, honestly. As long as you feel like you've set the expectation properly and both parties have kind of agreed to it, then you're off to the races and in a good start.
Well, we do it. We talked about it with you, Tommy, you and Jillian, where it's like, it's not just sales industry, right? No. Both you are working professionals.
And we don't have kids. We're two working professionals.
Always having conversations and communicating. Yeah.
And the one sentence that just, if you look at our text messages, I send this one text message over and over almost every day. If you don't see a text message, it's because it was over the phone. I asked Jillian, what does your night look like tonight when she's coming home from work? Or when she's here, I'll ask, because sometimes we both work from home, and I'll ask, what does your night look like tonight? And she explains that, oh, she's going to have to do a little bit of extra work, or, oh, I'm wanting to watch this show, or, oh, I'm XYZ. And then I'm able to kind of build my night around that and then make sure that her expectations are met. And then I'm able to do, like the fun nerdy stuff that I want to do. But sometimes I'm able to do it at the same time, but expectations are set. So I ask, and then I explain what I want to do. And then we figure out how both of those things can happen. But it happens on a daily basis, because even sometimes, like if I ask too early in the day, I'll ask again, because things may have changed within a couple hours. So
I love that, man.
Cool. Well, if you want your question answered on the Broker Power Up podcast, be an AIME member and be in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group. If you are not, you can scan the QR code and we will be right back with some sales pitch training.
Are you a wholesale mortgage professional? Well, then the very first thing you need is a community to help you and your business grow. With AIME membership, your community is right here. Joining our community means never navigating the market alone or operating without a safety net ever again. We are 16,000 members strong of united wholesale professionals. From rookies to top-ranking originators, all dedicated to supporting each other's success so we can grow together. Beyond entry to the best community in the mortgage industry, AIME membership gives you the resources, tools, guidance, discounts, services, and support that help you and your wholesale business grow, thrive, and most importantly, close more loans. AIME membership connects you with leading wholesale lenders and vendors, offering you exclusive access, services, and discounts that save you more money while helping you make more money. Never get stuck on a loan again with our lender escalation program. Grow your network and skills with the wholesale industry's best conferences and networking events. Get the strategies and skills of top originators and industry innovators with AIME's cutting-edge wholesale mortgage education, resources, and content. AIME offers all of this and more, starting at a low price of $19.99 a month. You heard it here first, couple cups of Starbucks coffee. For you to learn more and get started, all you have to do is visit aimegroup.com, AIME group.com /membership. Your community is waiting.
And I'm waiting to become a better salesperson. John, what do you got?
All right. So this is kind of twofold today, and then I'll share a story at the end. So I got an article published yesterday from NMP, National Mortgage Professional, and I'm going to talk about it today. I'm going to post it actually online. But what I talked about with them was the cash out refinance. And Tommy, we shared this a couple weeks ago, but I want to break this down. So 2025, we talked briefly, 660,861 total first lien cash out originations. Oh, right. Retail did 479,000 of them. And this to me, people don't spend enough time trying to understand it. And our loan officers aren't always jumping into these conversations on the broker side, where it's looking more for purchases and we're prejudging a lot of the time. So I gave 6 strategies, 6 steps that you can do, and I'm going to share these steps with you. So whenever you're calling a client going into the potential opportunity for a cash out refinance, a lot of the times what loan officers do is they look at the previous loan, which makes a lot of sense, but they'll see like the client has a 3.5. And they see the 3.5 and they say, oh, it's not worth it. And so you're already making that call. Even if you call the client, you're already making it with such a negative connotation about what's happening. You hear them say, oh, they just bought last year, or they move on. I can't tell you how many people I've seen that make 6 figures, and then I pull their credit a year later after I do their loan, and they're drowning in credit card debt. But if you prejudge, you don't have that shot. Number 2, a lot of loan officers for cash out, they'll send the client the application link. This is a phone call, and I know that might sound scary to some of you listening. I don't want to talk to my client about that, but this is touchy. You are talking to a consumer about debt. You're talking to them about something they don't want to talk about. They're probably embarrassed by it. They might feel judged by it. They just bought a house. Well, they don't want to tell you about the debt. So I'm not going to send an application link. I'm having a phone call, and we're going through it together. I'm going to slow the conversation down. Number 3. We talked about this earlier, and some people are going to take a shot at me, and I don't care. You got to pull credit every single time. I know it's expensive, but here's what I also know. I've never closed a loan without pulling credit. I don't think you can. You need to pull credit, even if you just pull one bureau. I'm not asking you to pull it all. I get it. The client has a 300 credit score. They tell you they've missed mortgage payments for 6 months. Fine, don't pull that credit. But everybody else, just pull it. One bureau, take a look. What's the financial scope? Number 4. How many people understand effective interest rates? I'll talk to brokers all the time. The client has a 3.5. Well, you know, there's $1.3 trillion in credit card debt right now. What about HELOCs? What about auto loans? Debt's 20, 23, 24%. What does it matter if your mortgage is a 3.5% if you're paying 25% on $40,000 in credit card debt that you have no game plan for? You're just paying the minimum every month. It's not tax deductible like your mortgage interest is. There are so many different conversations. So if you've never used an effective interest rate calculator, I encourage you to learn how to use it. Go to GPT and talk to it. It's really important you understand that revolving debt and installment debt are not calculated the same when it comes to your effective interest rate. This is what you're paying on all the money that you owe, right? That's what you're paying on all the money that you owe. And it's calculated differently based off of installment versus revolving. Number 5, make sure every decision maker is present. If they're married and they both need to be available, great. What you're not going to do is blindside a significant other. Here's why. Never works. They can't explain it like you can. You ready? I'm talking to Tommy, and Tommy has to go talk to Jillian. I say, Tommy, this is perfect for you. You guys are saving $430 a month. We're paying off your credit card debt. Tommy's all excited. He goes to tell Jillian. Jillian says, but yeah, I get it. But Tommy, we have a 3.5%. I know your rate's actually lower, but Tommy, we have a 3.5%. Do we really, like, it's our biggest debt. Does it really matter? Tommy, who loves his wife, says, yeah, I guess
we're saving money.
Yeah, I guess we're saving money, but all right, let me just let him know we'll think about it more. That's what happens every time. So I'm not
making a decision by myself.
Bingo.
There's zero chance.
No, me neither. I'm at least telling her, like, hey, here's what
I'll take notes. And I'll try and become my salesman self and try and
that's the issue right there. That's what I don't want, right?
Exactly.
And this is where LOs, you cannot be. I don't want my consumer trying to also be the salesperson to this third party person in this situation, which is their significant other that they have a lot more of an emotional attachment to than me. So
they say no, the answer is no. They say yes, the answer is yes.
Yes. And like, that's another one. That's number 5. And the last piece is number 6. Don't make the decision for them. So many LOs are like, I don't know if this makes sense. That's not your job. Is if there's financial benefit, if there is a net tangible benefit, your job is to present the option. That's it. What happens if they consolidate all the debt? What happens to their cash flow? Do not make the decision for your client that this doesn't make sense. Have the conversation first. And if it doesn't make sense, great. Let the client know after that. So those are 6 things you can do right now to help yourself write more potential cash out refinances this year so you don't miss out on opportunities. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. And I'll tie in a story to that, Tommy. We can, unless you have questions on it, then we'll call it quits after this.
I think it made perfect sense. And I think it's just one of those things where I think we've talked about it before, but really just setting up, if your spouse isn't available and you know that the person can't make a decision by themselves or shouldn't, you should ask when both of the partners would be available, and then try and schedule around that, and then do your whole 3. Is it morning, afternoon, or evening work better for you, and then work it down from there. That so I think
I'm
really
impressed you remember that. I'm so impressed right now. You put the biggest smile, the triplicate play, you put the biggest smile on my face.
Yeah, you ask when both parties will be available so that you can schedule a decision, and then you put it on them. The multiple decisions re-encourage them to actually show up because they chose it. They chose the time, and then you just work down from there. And then you offer a couple different options, and then in that time slot that they pick, and then you continue the conversation then. And then you have all the parties that need to make the decision, and then you'll get a true decision, whether it's yes or no. But it's really just you're offering the product, and then do you want to buy this? Are you moving forward with this or no? And then just be like, all right, no, cool. I will check back in a little bit. When the next opportunity arrives.
It's crazy. Like it's, I know it sounds like easy, but I know it's complicated, and that'll tie into my story here. This is a quick, little tip extra to add. And since I was a kid, Middle Eastern, first generation, very Middle Eastern culture growing up for me. And part of the culture is whenever you go to somebody, you're never allowed to go empty-handed, ever. That was just a thing in my culture. People came to our house, they always brought something, whether it's for my dad, my mom, for us as the kids. But same way, whenever I would go to somebody's house, my dad, my mom, always, hey, make sure you grab this, make sure you grab that. Never go empty-handed. Once you walk in, make sure you give a kiss to the most elderly person there. It's just out of respect. That's just in my culture, ingrained in me. My dad has this thing where, if I'm sitting down next to somebody, I can't, if I cross my legs, I put my one leg over my other. If it's pointing towards a person, that's not good in my culture. So my dad used to say, hey, put your foot down. Don't point your foot at somebody. Not your open foot to somebody towards someone. And so all these little things I just always growing up picked up on. And then as I got older, I realized so many of these little things I did helped me with my sales acumen unintentionally. So this is called the power of reciprocity. And believe it or not, most humans are built this way. It's unintentional. Your body just does it. And the more I learned about it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing that growing up. That's just who I am. But human brain, if you're going into a negotiation or if you're going into a sales with somebody, getting that person to accept something first opens the door to negotiations before the negotiations even start. So this is called the power of reciprocity. The human brain, after somebody does something for you, is constantly trying to return the favor unintentionally. And this is the science. There's a lot of psychology behind it. And so for all your salespeople out there, whenever you're going into a conversation, bring something of value, bring an opportunity, start a conversation that way. And you will watch the power of reciprocity open up. That person is going to be more inclined to want to try and figure something out with you, to want and try to do an opportunity with you. Doesn't mean you're always going to get it, but don't show up empty-handed to places, y'all. Don't. You're coming into somebody's home. This is such ingrained in me since I was a child. But this, my friends, is the power of reciprocity. And I would challenge you and encourage you to start learning about it and start understanding the psychology of sales, the psychology of people, because it'll do nothing but help you communicate and help you build stronger bonds and relationships. So that's my quick story for today. I hope that helps. And until next week, take care.
So with reciprocity, it's, hey, I paid X to pull your credit amount. Like I paid to pull your credit.
Works. I'll take exactly
on a phone call.
That's exactly.
I paid for
I'll
this.
take care of this charge.
Yeah. You
So
don't have to tell them exactly how much.
No.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Well, they find out it's on the loan estimate.
Yeah,
There's nothing they have to legally see it. But to your point, and again, it's not intentional. You know, it just happens. Make this part of who you are. Make this part of how you live. Make this part of how you operate. And I promise you, nothing but good. You meet great people. You surround yourself with winners. That's what it's going to take for you to be a successful salesman or saleswoman. So appreciate y'all very, very much.
And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Broker Power Up podcast. If you found today's tips helpful, do us a favor. Hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed it, which helps even more people see this content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring the bell to get notified every time we drop new content. Share this video with a fellow broker who could use a power up. And remember to lead by example, to lift each other up, to grow together, and most importantly, close more loans. Until next time, keep powering up.